Welcome to this week's episode of In the Ruck of It, where we discuss all things SA Rugby. The first test between the Springboks and the Lions is done and dusted, and I think I must have grown a few grey hairs and built up quite a bit of blood pressure after that game. Rassie is pissed off and he has every right to be. So let's not waste any more time and get straight into the ruck of it. And remember, you can support this channel by hitting that subscribe button and liking this video. You can also hit the notification button if you want to know when we post a new video. Now, was it just me, or did you also feel cheated after watching the game on the weekend? I hate talking about the referee, but you must be blind if you believe that this game was adjudicated fairly. The truth is that Gatlin got what he wanted. He and his staff, helped by the media, put so much pressure on the selection of Marius Jonker throughout the week and pretty much guaranteed that all 50-50 calls would go the way of the Lions. From illegal scrummaging from Tom Curry to Ches and Kobe being played in the air, every decision went the way of the Lions. Valilerou's disallowed try was just another example of this. When an on-field ref says it's a try, the TMO must have clear and obvious proof to overturn that decision. Now listen to Marius Jonker as he starts to say there is not, which meaning that there is not clear and definitive evidence, but then he changes and says it's very tight, but we believe that 15 was offside. And who are we? We believe. Isn't the TMO the one supposed to be making that decision? Why is his decision being influenced by others? But then he changes his answer in the last minute and says, no, 15 was definitely offside. He doesn't sound clear and decisive to me. And even if you look at the on-field referee's response after this decision is made, you can clearly see that he's not sure whether the TMO made the right decision either.
All right, it's very tight, but we believe from the evidence that I have that 15 green was ahead of the ball when it was kicked and ahead of the player kicking.
Okay. All right, so
you need to bring it back. It was definitely in front.
Okay. No try penalty offside.
That's a massive turnaround.
Explain this to me.
Massive turnaround, yeah.
There's also been a lot of talk around Rassie's involvement in the team and whether he should or should not be allowed to play a role, or at least the role that he is currently playing. What I find strange is that South Africans are generally happy to see him out there, and his partnership with Jacques Nienhaber has proven to be effective. However, it is the outside media, the outside coaches, the guys from up in England who seem to have an issue with Rassie playing a part in the game the way he is. What I find strange is that whenever South Africans are being innovative, finding new ways to improve their game, there always seems to be a problem. But when up north things are done differently, it's okay, and it's just let's get on with the game. Rassie Erasmus recorded a video where he called for fairness. And I think at the end of the day, all of us want that. We want to know that the ref will be objective and not favor either team. In this video, Rassie outlines mistakes made by the ref and informs the public about the ref's responses to the queries made from the box. What I found interesting watching this video is how Rassie underlines the fact that the Lions have been creating a narrative that the Springboks are a foul play team and setting up the referee to feel pressured to adjudicate in favor of the Lions. In this video, I'd like to have a quick look at some of the points he's pointed out, starting with the shoulder charge on Faf. He wants to know going forward, if Safas put a late shoulder charge on a player like Tom Curry did on Faf, will it be allowed or be a penalty? Erasmus goes on to point out foul play on Mapimpi. Mapimpi being held back should overrule the previous knock-on by Ches and Kobe. We've seen refs' decisions being turned around time and time again before. We've seen players knock a ball on, an opposing player kicking the ball away or doing something stupid, and the referee overturning that decision and giving the penalty to the team that initially knocked on the ball. Now, Rassie had an even bigger issue with this, and that is the way the referee dealt with Sia versus how he treated Alan Wynne-Jones. Listen to what he had to say in this moment.
Firstly, I would like you to listen to the way Alwyn Jones talks to Nick Berry and to Ben O'Keefe and tell them that, listen here, you think Cheslin knocked the ball on, and they listen to him, and it's fair. And Sia's trying to tell them that Magazolo was pulled back, which is foul play. And me being close to that, obviously I wanted Sia to tell the ref that it's foul play, because foul play overrules anything else. Now you'll clearly see here, there Alban Jones refers to and then Sia refers to holding back. And they just tell Sia to go away, and Alban just stays there, and Sia had to walk away, and now obviously and again Alban Jones points out that he wants to check for the knock-on. So that didn't go away, and I thought the way they listened to Sia compared to the way they listened to Alban was definitely not with the same respect that both players should have.
Rassie also makes multiple comparisons between how the Lions were adjudicated versus how the Springboks were. Rassie outlines identical instances of seatbelt tackles where the Springboks were penalised while the Lions faced no consequences. And then we have the Hamish Watson tip tackle. No matter how many times we see this, it just becomes more unreal as to how this was not a yellow card, at least. Listen to what Rassie had to say regarding Hamish Watson's tip tackle, as well as a double tip tackle on Mapimpi.
There's obviously the big debate, which is mind-baffling. If you look at the score, 19-17 again, the 63rd minute of the game, Willie catches a ball, Hamish Watson gets him. I don't think anybody can argue that he tips him beyond the 90, and Willie lands on his shoulder/back and could have landed on his neck. So I'm not saying there should be a red card, but I can see nothing less than a yellow card here. I haven't seen one incident like this in the last 5 years where a player has got away with less than a yellow card here. And we refer it back to the TMO, to Marius Jonker, which is the person that Warren Gatland has openly now put so much pressure on during the week, because he is now the TMO, which again we had no control over, Marius had no control over, but obviously that's the way Warren put through the media pressure on Marius on that, because knowing Marius and knowing the laws, that should definitely be a yellow card. Again, on minute 63, it means that in the next 17 minutes, they will probably only play 6 or 7 minutes with 15 men on the field. If you look at Mapimpi here, Duan van der Merwe is coming from outside. Obviously, the law states when there's a player bound over a tackled player, there's already an offside line. So Duan van der Merwe can't come in from that side. That's the first offence. And then the second offence, they're picking up both legs of Mapimpi and driving him into the ground. Now, again, if that's allowed and you can do it, by all means, just tell us. We would have loved to hear that on Sunday night. Then we could have practiced that on Monday morning or on Tuesday morning, and not only getting the results here. But according to me, this is very dangerous. You'll see Duan will now go, and there they pick him up and is horizontal, and he gets driven into the ground. I don't think actually he can be in a worse position when it comes to that.
The list goes on, and I'll make a separate video showing each instance. Hit the notification button and get notified when that video will be made available. I mean, we can go on and on. Even if we look at the advantage given, where we had 8 seconds for our penalty advantage while the Lions had 23 seconds, and territorial advantage. So keep an eye out for that video. I'll be releasing it shortly. Personally, I take my hat off to Rassie. He made it clear that he's making this video of his own volition, and if there's any problems, it should be taken up with him and not SA Rugby. We know that could backfire, but I'd rather him stand up and voice these things, because as a fan, we all watch, every week we see this happen, and we are supposed to just be quiet and accept that the referee's word is what it is. And you feel stupid as a fan of rugby and someone who believes they know rugby and they know the rules, and you feel like an idiot, especially when commentators agree with the fact that the referee's decision is correct. And Rassie doing this is a great, it gives clarity, and it also opens up the eyes of world rugby to say, hey, this cannot go on. Rassie goes on to say that he's happy to step away from Springbok management if those are the consequences of him releasing this video to the public. Well done, Rassie. We salute you. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. And once again, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification button. It helps us out a lot. Thank you again for watching, and thank you for supporting SA Rugby.